Are we live?
We're
yet?
live. We're live.
We're live. Welcome everybody that's tuning in from the wild world out there. Hope you're doing great. Welcome to the 412th Off the Radio Show, Neil.
412.
412.
And tonight they're going to gain wisdom. They're going to get some wisdom this evening. Some wisdom.
Possibly you could get wisdom, so stay tuned for that. We could have some good stories. So welcome again. Thank you, Santa Cruz Waves, for allowing us to be guests of your Facebook page. We're broadcasting live from the Santa Cruz Boardroom, this beautiful location, the original home of Santa Cruz Skateboards, located in South 41st Avenue.
Lower 41st.
Beautiful Pleasure Point. And speaking of Pleasure Point, our guest tonight, I'm not going to say a legend.
You're not?
I wouldn't.
I'm gonna say he's a famous Pleasure Pointin'. Is that what we call Pleasure Pointins?
Yeah, Pleasure Point.
Pointins?
Pleasure Point man.
Pointin'? There's
Pointin'.
a Pleasure Pointin'. The one and only Frosty's here tonight. Welcome back, Frosty.
Thank you so much for having me.
By the way, Neil, how many times has Frosty been a guest?
Well, the last time I went to his house today,
No, I only got 5 fingers. So
the other day I went to his house to say, hey, would you come on the show? He goes, well, the last time you kind of fucked with me. And I go, well, what happened?
Did we?
Yeah.
Did we know about you last time, Frosty?
Yeah. But he blew you. Apparently we blew him off.
Oh, shoot. Well,
And he still shows
the
up.
night is yours. And I love that you brought your bike tonight. I mean, I know you live 4 blocks away, and you've lived 4 blocks away for a very long time. I noticed this bike looks like it's parked outside mostly, right? Is it?
Absolutely.
Okay, so this is a true Pleasure Point beach cruiser that Frosty showed up in. It's got some great patina to it.
That's
And
the nice looking one.
That's a nice one.
Yeah.
You got the piece of shit at
I
home?
got 5. Oh, I got 5 or 6.
Well, you've got to. I mean, you live like 75 feet from Ocean Spray, and so I can't imagine bikes last long. I've noticed your car is really starting to rust.
I have something to say about that. The Jeep looks good, but my country's Jaguar looks like shit.
No, the Jag.
I had
Jag
nothing to do with the manufacturing.
the Jag looks like shit.
So
I go by, I go,
But it
oh,
runs
that's
sweet.
cool. Huh?
it's
It runs sweet.
Yeah, it runs
yeah,
sweet.
no.
Yeah.
So everyone, you know, Frosty has an XJ, right? An XJ.
Yeah.
Yeah,
XJS.
XJS. It's a green, I believe.
British,
British
hold.
racing green.
British racing green.
British racing green.
Thank
tan
you. With tan
convertible
leather.
roof.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And it was beautiful. I remember when you first got it.
Let
And
me-
it's just, but being 75
But
feet
TC,
from the ocean.
okay, when he has
doesn't
if
help.
he has a date right now, which car is he picking her up in? Which he
No,
can.
no, which bike? We upgrade, you know, but we're starting at a bike.
Okay.
Well, Frosty does have a very nice XJS
Yep.
convertible. And I don't know if it'll ever be beautiful again.
No, that's non-restorable.
Not by my design.
Yeah. It still runs well?
Yeah, it's a meal from
Oh, right up here the street, yes.
yeah, Sports Performance. They keep it just sweet.
Well,
And it's the 6-cylinder, so
not the V12 or something
Correct.
they put in there yet.
correct.
Good.
Not the V12,
No,
no.
the 6-cylinder. And how about the wiring? Does everything work in it? Every light, the
Easy.
radio?
This is the thing that is amazing. The clock works.
The clock works?
Clock
You
works.
see?
So all you need
The
to
English, they're
you know
not
what?
terrible.
You live in Pleasure Point. All you need to know is the tide and the time. You don't need to know the speed you're going, what your revolutions are. You need to know the tide and the time, right, Frosty?
Well, this is true, but the tack works. The speedometer usually works.
Yeah.
Once in a while,
No,
it gets a little.
It works on
continuous.
Wednesdays, I heard.
Well,
But when he first got it, I'm like, well, we gotta call him Sir now?
Oh, that was a badass
Yeah, I
car.
was like, what the hell?
No,
you obviously never look closely at it.
Well, it's like, oh, Frosty got knighted and they gave him a Jag. You know?
Yeah. Got the MBE.
Yeah.
Well, that was just to keep me out of England.
Yeah, that was the plan.
Yeah, that was the plan. I was contacted and I said, well, there's the price. Keep me out of England.
Do you like England?
I'm not going to comment.
Well, Neil's here.
He has a lot of fans in England.
You got
He
the
got,
fan
people
club?
wrote to me. People wrote to me from England, going, oh, "Tell Frosty that Darren Hull says hi."
Well, and
There's fans there.
with that, with your fans, I mean, let's the movie. Explain, just so the people watching, explain how this movie came to fruition and how it is today in your life today.
the movie came about because obviously Jay and I worked together. He was an awesome kid. Jason Smith wrote a couple of stories about us. They were published, and then it grew. Our relationship was recognized. Then Jay took off on a wave that is on some socks.
Here we go.
I mean, let's be talking.
Yep.
And everything then took off. Jay was incredible. I had prepped him for being an awesome guy, capable of working and being positive, as he just genuinely was. But with the media, being interviewed, being taken around the world, and so all of that happened. He was incredibly successful. Then, he had an incident that happened, and there's a lot of people with a lot of different opinions, but it doesn't matter, it happened. And shortly thereafter, I was approached by 5 or 6 different producers to say, well, we want to do a movie about you and Jay, and you learn early on. The first one I was actually on 92 because I was working as a safety director, driving from job to another job, and the guy just was so rude in speaking with me, trying to get me to, and I'm like going, click, hang up.
Like Hollywood rude.
Yeah.
Yeah, like.
Yeah, just, so then he called back and he said, oh, I lost you something. And I said, no, I hung up on you because you want to do a movie about sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
Mm-hmm.
That was not Jay. And even if it was Jay, I wouldn't tell you that story anyway. Jay was an awesome, incredible young man. And there are so many people that look up to him, kids especially. And we all have something to learn. So, have a good life. Don't bother contacting me again.
Did you think it was over at that point? No movie?
I have a great life, independent, and so it's like, then I receive these other contacts, essentially the same thing, and it's like, I don't need you in my life. I have a great life. Look where I live. Look where we get to play.
Right. So those watching, Frosty lives 75 feet from Pleasure Point.
75 feet's
That's probably too far for him.
yeah.
I gotta gear up.
Yeah. You gotta stretch to go check the waves. And just to step back a little bit real quick.
Sure.
Do you remember the exact place you were at when you heard that Jay had passed?
Oh yeah. I had taken my kids down to Big Sur. Zoof was working, I don't remember, she was probably working nights, and so it was a weekend, and I just grabbed the kids and said, we're going camping in Big Sur, and so we took off, and I had been on a bike ride with Mikey G the day before, which when we go back timing-wise was when Jay was struggling.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever was going on, and I was riding a bike, and I suddenly became exhausted. And we were just at the beginning of the ride. And it was just like I was in great shape, and it's just like I was exhausted. And I turned around to Mikey G and said, I'm done.
Wow.
We're not a quarter of the way into the ride. It's like, I don't know what's going on. I'm done. I'm exhausted. I'm tapped. I got to go home. And so then went home. We went to Big Sur. The kids and I had a great time. We came back, and I was living in the Little Red House with Zoof, which is the house next door. And driving down 36th Avenue, there was this huge floral display. From as far back as I was, it occupied all of the width of the street.
Oh, I remember.
And so I'm driving and I'm going, somebody finally figured out this is going to be such a rocking place to sell flowers. So cool. Somebody's scoring.
Right.
So then I pull on into the driveway, and the kids and I are unloading and doing, and Mike Curtis from Carmel comes on over, and he goes, I'm so sorry. And I'm beaming. I just had a great weekend with my kids. And I go, what are you sorry about? And he looked at me and he said, you don't know. No what? He goes, sit down. I'm like, what's up? I don't even know how to tell you this. Jay's gone. I go, yeah, I know. He's Indonesia or something. He's having a surf trip. He goes, no. Gone.
The second gone, you knew that was the second gone was like then you
Yeah.
knew what was going on.
Yeah.
What happened?
Well, then I understood the flowers.
Right. Yeah.
And I just said, I have to go in the house.
Right.
I
Of
need
course.
private time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
And
Do you think-
and I think a lot of people, your reaction was exactly how I felt, and so many other felt. You know, like it was.
well, no, it's
It was-
surreal.
Well, when somebody is like larger than life, and it's
Absolutely.
kind of.
Yeah.
I use Dave King as a great example.
Did we talk?
A strapping human being, the pillar of strength,
Right.
falls over. It is really humbling.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I was talking to, I stopped by his house the other day, have him come on the show, and I looked, I tried to find, I knew I had his email, and apparently I didn't have his email. God damn it. I want to talk to Frosty, and I go, I know I'll get his phone number. So I looked up his phone number, and I didn't have his phone number, but I had Zeus' phone number. Right? And then you start to think, and I'm like, oh my God, I got Zeus' phone number, still in my phone after all these years. Then you start to think about all the other people I'm like, I wonder how many people are in my phone that are not around any longer.
I did that.
That's because you're old.
Well, I did that on my Facebook, on my social media. I did that recently. I went through I have a couple of thousand people on there. I went through them, and it was astonishing how quickly life can go right out from under you.
Do you think there are a lot, the way things are today with the kids, they all seem to be doing so well. You know, all these kids and teenagers, and at that pleasure point, that there are a lot of kids like Jay nowadays, rather than there's no one like Jay. There are a lot of kids out there that you and I we've talked to, right? That Aaron McKinnon, the paddleboarder, or Kylan, the gal that was here on the show.
There's some great kids.
A lot of incredible kids that are doing the right thing.
Absolutely, but you have to remember each generation has people who opens doors. I saw Doug Hout today,
Yeah, I saw Dougie the other day. Yeah.
and Doug Hout, Don and Susie Snyder. When I just came back from a quick trip to Cabo, and I was talking to some people, new people I was introduced to, and they were like, oh, we heard you started coming down to the tip in the 70s. And I said, well, I did. I started right after the road. But I have across the street neighbors who were coming down in the 60s, and maybe before. And they came down in the VW van as a couple, and another couple flew. So the ones in the van would pick up the other ones. They would go to the East Cape, which
There wasn't a house out there.
there wasn't anything. And I'll tell you in a bit how I found out about it, but they would go, they would spend a couple of weeks, then whoever drove the van down got to fly back, and the other couple brought the van back. And I know what San Jose del Cabo was then. It was the church, the plaza,
Nothing else.
a street that ran one way, then at the end, it made a hard right-hand turn, because you were headed towards the ocean. Hard right-hand turn, one restaurant in town, and it sucked. It was horrible.
And then a dirt road that went to the East Cape. From there,
Well,
right?
a dirt road that went across the Arroyo and then worked its way up along the coast.
That arroyo's gnarly, and after
Oh,
a
it's-
rain, good luck getting across that thing.
Oh yeah, but when you're isolated on the other side, nobody can get to you.
And there's a swell. Hurricane's awesome.
So my first experience, we were camping at what's Zippers, and so the surf was only waist high, wasn't particularly great, and I noticed that there's this guy in a black blazer, and he stops every day. He
Jack-
watches for about 15
The
minutes.
jacket or the car? Like a Chevy Blazer or a
The
black
Chevy
Blazer?
Blazer.
Okay.
And he drives off, and he's headed east.
And I go, well, I'm not doing anything particularly fascinating. I want to find out where that guy goes, because he had a surfboard strapped on. So I start tracking him. And he loses me in town the first day, and so the next day it's like, okay, the challenge is on now.
I'm finding this guy.
I'm finding this. So I go to where I got lost, and I'm waiting. And so I see the guy, I hop on. It's like I'm tracking him, and we get to crossing the arroyo. And so it's like, okay, so I hold way back, and then he crosses the arroyo. And on the other side of the arroyo, which is several miles across. Well, I'll be conservative. Say
Oh,
it's a mile and a half.
Yeah, it's a big arroyo though.
It's a long ways. I've been there when it has flooded.
And watched cars get washed down.
I've seen people. I've been there too. I've seen. And the funny thing is, some people are not scared of all that, and it's like they know where the road is. It's underwater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really
Right.
sketchy.
Oh yeah, yeah. But it's the night that I got to see it. It was Friday night. Everybody was on the East Cape, and they wanted to get into town to go party Friday night. Come on now.
Absolutely.
And so, like every 15 or 20 minutes, they'd send a car.
Down. They'd get washed away. Everybody would be cheering. They'd wait a while, have a few more cervezas, send another car.
It's like being in a NASCAR race.
Right.
Crash.
You know what? I'm thinking. I don't know of any other sport other than surfing that can bring about so many stories. I mean, I play soccer. I love soccer, but you can't generate stories. I play golf.
Yeah.
You usually play golf too. Yeah, a couple of stories. I told you my hole-in-one story.
Yeah.
But with surfing, it's like you live it, and you have these. Even back in the '60s or '70s or '50s, you take the old guys like the Houts or
Yeah.
whoever. These amazing Novak, right?
Right.
The amazing stories that come with
Absolutely.
the sport of surfing.
Well, I'm going to say it's not the sport; it's the lifestyle.
Right.
The adventure. You know, it's like
Absolutely,
you,
yeah.
you wouldn't discover an unridden golf course.
No, you would. No, you don't.
You know what I mean? It just doesn't make
No,
sense.
no.
Yeah. But you know what I mean? It's like it's one of those things that
No.
like surfing. It's not quite. I mean, it's still there. Rip Curl's term, the search, right? It still exists. But during the time you're talking about, even Cabo San Lucas was an adventure. The guy in the black Chevy that was going out to the East Cape that nobody even knew was
Right.
out there at that time.
Right. So, on the third day, I'm hiding in one of the little roads, watching, and so it's like he goes by. I figure out which road he's on, and I'm like, okay, that road looks like it goes a long way, so I can just hang back.
So I'm tracking, just enjoying, because we're talking it's so spectacularly beautiful. The ocean is beyond blue. The desert is brown. Cacti everywhere, popping green. The blue sky. I'm mesmerized.
Well, for people who haven't been there, it's almost like those pictures you see of Greece.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? The blue Mediterranean,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
white cliffs.
Yeah.
The East
It's-
Cape has that.
It's beyond.
yeah.
So I'm just rolling, and finally I come up on a place. He's got his car parked there. He's in the water. The only guy in the water. Only person. So I'm like, totally cool. Two of us. Wow. So I grab a board, paddle out. He looks at me. He goes, F you.
The welcoming committee.
And paddles in, and then drives north. And I go, I love you. I love you. I don't care who you are. I love you. You just told me there's ways further north.
So that was like shipwrecks or somewhere. Where were you?
That's exactly where I was.
Nice.
And so,
Yeah, I didn't bother tracking him anymore. It was just like, I got all the knowledge I need.
Yeah.
Your
tank was
I
full.
am exploring.
Wow.
This is good.
That's a great story.
So I never told the guys back at campground what I had done. So I held on to that for a really long time.
So you can keep a surf spot a secret.
What surf spot? I play golf.
And when was the last time you were down in that area? Have you been back?
Oh, I just came back.
Oh, you just got back?
Yeah, I
Sure.
came back Thursday.
Oh, okay. How was it?
The
golf was great?
It was horrible. The golf is expensive now.
Down there?
Yeah, golf's expensive.
Well, you know, it's does it ever? I mean, I know for myself, when I go down there, I always am like talking about this wasn't here. You know, like you look around and there's so
Well,
much
so
change.
that was the joy of
When I first showed up, there was nothing on the beach.
Yeah.
El Presidente was way down there. You couldn't even see it. And it was a rumor because I'm camping on the beach and this is like a buck. We were trying to scam the federal guy that came by to collect the money,
Right.
$1 a day for camping. And we would like abandon camp so we didn't have to pay.
Full gringo status down there.
Right.
And then at night, the guys that were working in the mines, somehow, some way, they had a Ford Mustang. 17 guys stacked in this Ford Mustang, drive down on the beach until it got stuck. They would grab their blankets, come out. They'd all spread out, lay down, go to sleep. In the morning, all of them would push that Mustang back until it could get on traction and up the hill, and they'd pop in, and away they'd go and show up again at the end of the day.
Wow. So, adventuring, you drove this trip, or did you fly?
Correct.
You drove all the way down.
Yep.
And how's the highway right now? Because I
oh
drove.
no, I flew this
Oh, you
time.
flew? Okay.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
the last time I drove to Cabo was about 10 or 12 years ago, and it was terrifying. The buses would drive down the middle of the road, the 18-wheelers right down the middle of the road, and they're like, get out of the way. Or
I
die."
drive down the middle of the road.
Yeah, until you see one of
I
those
move
guys.
over for them.
Yeah, and then we got to a spot, and there was like a Coca-Cola, old Coca-Cola blocking the highway, and a guy with a gun like waving his arms. Like there was some sketchy stuff, and I was curious because I thought maybe you drove like to see how it is today.
All of what you're saying still exists.
I'm sure it does. Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
And so I have these incredible friends, Laura and Keely Kobia, who have a business down there. They're incredibly successful. They are like family to me. When Zoof and I moved out of the Little Red House into our house, we moved them into the Little Red House. And I went with Keely. I told him, if you're going to move down there, I need to teach you a lot of things about being in Baja Sur. Baja Sur is not Baja Norte.
Right.
And the people are so warm and generous and loving, and they would literally give you the shirt off your back if they thought you needed it. And now the economy, you really have to pay attention because everybody needs to make money, and there are not enough tourists there.
Mm-hmm.
But
Right.
it is not just the United States; they are international.
Right.
And so I have friends that are from Argentina, Brazil, Spain, Italy, all over the world, and they're investing for the next 50 to 75 years.
I agree absolutely. A question about Cabo when you were there, because I just got back from a trip south of Cancun. It impressed me how serious they took the coronavirus.
Absolutely.
It really impressed me as a team.
We're lazy.
Yeah, America's. I came home from Mexico saying we suck as a country.
Right, what we're doing?
dealing with this. Yeah, because Mexico was so organized. I went to a resort with my wife. The staff was 2 weeks living at the resort, 2 weeks at home, tested when they come back. 2 weeks at the resort. They all wore shields. They wore masks. There was social distancing. It was what? I mean, organized, the whole thing.
Yeah.
Was it that way when you were in Cabo?
The first thing that you see as you leave the airport is there's always road work going on someplace. The guys working on the road wearing masks.
Right. Going what?
Yeah. In the heat.
Oh no, it's not the heat. It
It's-
is like it's over 90.
Right.
And I'm sitting and perspiring.
Right.
I was drinking over 2.5 gallons of fluid a day.
Right.
And
So I like to walk and see what's happening, and you get to interact with the people. And so I was walking around, and the smallest, most divey taco bar place, before you can enter, temperature taking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then they got a guy manning the doorway, the entrance. You have to have hand sanitizer before they'll let you in.
Right.
Right.
You don't do it, you're not in.
I came home from Mexico and I said, no wonder 200,000 people have died in this country. After I saw how Mexico, in the eyes of so many Americans, they think of Mexico as almost a third world country. They are so organized with this coronavirus, and it shocked me because I didn't realize how terrible we were doing as a country.
Right. Well, we don't have a reference point.
Right, exactly. We don't, as of today in Santa Cruz, we have no idea how we're doing.
No.
Really?
Well, we had John Leopold on the show a couple weeks ago, and I said, hey, John, nobody has come to my business one time and said to me, this is what you should do. Never, not one time, has one person come to my business and said, this is what we suggest you should do. And he says to me, and bless his heart, there's a website called www.//gov.com that you can learn all that. And I was like, I forgot that website already. And then so it's interesting to bring up how organized a Mexico can be in this.
It's an educational exposure. Just what you're saying, nobody's educated you. So, are you accountable? Sort of, but, how much research? Let's see. Oh, this is a national emergency. How much research should we have to do?
But
there should be somebody passing out pamphlets. They pass it out about everything else. I just got something yesterday about parking permits.
But it's like
That's
a wait.
important, though.
It's like we don't
Why?
want.
It's a loser program. It doesn't make any money.
But it's like
It
we're not
costs
doing
us
anything.
money.
It's like we're not doing anything here. We're just waiting for the vaccine.
Well, fortunately,
We're isolated, and then I think
that there's a lot of people who are conscious about, because people in Santa Cruz do travel. And one of the first things you learn when you travel is don't touch. Because you're going someplace, your body's not ready to deal with whatever exists there. Because it's new, it's foreign, and it's going to invade your body. And so if you touch it, you're going to get it. If you don't touch, oh gee.
You told me, TC, you made it through the airport.
Not touching anything.
Right, not touching
Yeah,
anything.
so my wife and I went to San Francisco Airport, and we're like, let's not touch anything.
correct.
We did it.
Yeah,
I didn't touch
No, it's-
anything. So
right.
people who wonder is it safe to fly? Hell yeah.
yeah.
Don't touch anything. And you can do it.
Well,
So I got up to where you take your shoes off and put it in the. I asked the guy, I go, hey, will you grab me 2 of these and put them right here for me? He goes, yeah, no problem. And he grabbed 2 of the plastic trays
Yeah.
and put them there.
Yeah.
And I put all my stuff and I said, hey, do you mind pushing these in for me? He goes, yeah, no problem. He pushed them right in. I got to the other side, touched my stuff. I go, hey, will you grab my? No problem.
I got wipes, so it's the same thing, and you don't touch.
And then you have hand sanitizer, wipes, or whatever, so that you don't touch.
Right.
And then I like to be upwind. It's not too hard to figure out. Multiple reasons. Neil has a gastric problem.
It goes back to what you said earlier. Is that that's such great advice. So simple. Don't touch. Right.
Yeah.
And but I've never heard that. And like as far as like what the message has been from government, local government.
I used to be a safety director in the world of large construction, as well as a superintendent. And as a safety director, I had to go through all the records and try to figure out how we could save money. And I know how fast I heal from an injury, and I see how fast our employees heal from an injury. And for those injuries where if you just clean them, we're getting killed. We're losing weeks. So I would bring people back to work early and, just have them show up, pay them for half a day, and teach them how to wash.
That's like you're talking like staph infections and things like that.
There's all kinds.
Yeah, infections from
So when people came across in covered wagons, right?
Yep.
And today, it's worse for us today. Those germs, that bacteria, they've progressed.
Oh, and
They're
they
bad.
get better.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, no, they're the Arnold Schwarzenegger of.
completely.
Yeah, I get it.
They're
yeah.
the
Yeah.
successes.
Yeah, no, I understand completely on that.
Tell people if you got any questions, they can ask Frosty. I'm right here.
Oh,
I'll
right
take
there.
the
Okay,
I'll
so
take
yeah,
the questions.
So, if you guys are watching and want to ask Frosty something, by all means, type that in there. Neil's gonna man the camera.
I'm gonna man the camera
I
tonight.
can't read.
No, you can. I want to ask you about the. I want to talk since we record all the surf history as much as we can.
Can I interject? One
Yeah,
second?
of course you can.
I just say that we should maybe not do our typical question and go back to when we had the legends question.
The one day.
What we asked Harry Mayo. The
Oh,
question.
right, the one day.
The one. Yeah.
Not the decade, but the one
so
day.
let's segue into that. 'Cause I think
We're
this
gonna
is
come. We'll leave that to the end.
Okay, that's a good one. Yeah, but that's a
But
great question.
I want to talk to you about. You've had some amazing women in your life.
Ah, 3 angels. Well, plus my mother.
Can we
You-
get? Can we? Do you mind if we touch on that on the?
No, I'm
Because
very
behind
proud.
every good man is a great woman, and you've had I mean, I don't know how you did it, but you had 4, including your mom.
Correct.
Can we talk about that?
Absolutely. Ask away.
What do you want to start with? I mean, I'm going to start with Zoof because I looked at a phone number. I looked at her number in my this phone right here. I'm using to record. It's in my phone. I'm like, I was sat there for like 5 minutes, just blown away that I still had her phone number, and I'm like wishing I could call her because her and I did not agree on all things. I wrote.
Oh, no.
No, I wrote. Let me tell you something. Oh, yo, dude. I wrote an article one day about the dirt farm, right, for the Sentinel.
Oh, I remember getting lit up about that.
I wrote all the boys and the thing, right? They have fun, the partying, the bonfires, the drinking, right? And there was a Sentinel. It was a great article. I thought it was a great article. She wrote a fucking book roasting me about the dirt farm and the disturbance they made, the ruffians, they were hooligans. She went off. I'm like, oh my God.
They did make benches and they did kind of take it over. So I mean, right? Come on, let's be honest about it.
But she was great. She was great. I mean, she got fired up. I would love to.
Oh.
Huh?
So,
3 incredible women. Brenda, and I had been married before, did not work out. I will accept responsibility for some of that. Met Brenda, fell in love instantly, an angel. Suf was part of Brenda's and my circle. It took me some time before I figured out, oh, wait a second. Suf is pretty incredible. For those of you who don't know, she was much more than a surf life. She was a beyond, in fact, won several times the Nurse of the Year award at Chomp Community Hospital, Monterey Peninsula. And she went to, she went to Cal Berkeley, got a degree in geology, went to Jordan, and the little bell went off. Well, there were a couple of things. She was traveling with some guy she met that she decided she needed to travel with because of how women were perceived in the Middle East. And with her hair and looks, the guy she was traveling with was offered 5,000 camels
For her.
for her.
He didn't take the camels.
She would have killed him.
5,000 camels. What do you do with that?
hard to put in the airplane. So she shaved her head.
She
Really?
did?
Yep, shaved her head.
No kidding.
Well, she met Zoop had curly, crazy hair.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, like
incredible.
It was
Yeah.
a real perm.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. She told me,
Do not put your fingers in my hair. Do not.
That's the one rule.
I'm a guy, right? Do I listen?
No.
It's like she said, I told you.
My wife tells me more to take her fingers out of there all the time. Hold it, she might be watching. I didn't mean that. Take that back.
Blame it on me. I got pictures. And so then,
Dre, my last partner, she led treks in Nepal for 15 years and could speak Nepalese. to the Nepalese people, the people of Nepal, who are so pure and innocent, Dre's words, and she, because she could speak Nepalese, impacted with smiles. I have received information from the Nepalese community in Boulder, how much she impacted them.
Wow.
And Dre and I, early in the relationship, were walking down North Pacific Avenue, and there's a store, a Nepalese store, and I was holding her hand, and all of a sudden she's gone. And I'm like, what? And I turn around, and it's like, well, there's a doorway, and I walk in. Now, Dre was almost 6 feet tall, Viking-esque, beautiful, speaking Nepalese to these people who are not 5 feet tall, and they are just peeing their pants laughing so hard because they can't believe in Santa Cruz here's this person understanding their native language.
Who's 6 feet tall?
Yeah.
Right.
It's just like, oh my God.
Huh.
So, Neil, you're correct. 3 incredible, exceptional, extraordinary women, but all angels.
Yeah.
I know.
Amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it seems to me like you're the one of the happiest people I know. You're always
Well, thank
smiling. You have a seriously, you are. You're always stoked. And you've had like even through tragedy, your stoke is always still there. Is there a trick to this? Is there a something maybe you can offer our viewers of how to be so stoked?
Number one, I have incredible faith. When I think maybe the easiest way to express this is what I do, talking story. Dre passed, crushed me, beyond. In the neighborhood we lived in, there's an 88-year-old woman named Evie. Her husband passed a week before Dre. So I had to go over to Evie and tell Evie Dre had passed, transitioned. So Evie and I were talking, and it turned out Evie had never seen or knew what a heart rock was. And I said, Evie, I find heart rocks all the time. I will find you an appropriate heart rock. So the next day, I'm walking around New Brighton. And I'm looking at heart rocks and I'm going, nope, nope, nope. And I've probably gone through close to 2 dozen. And I see one, and as I'm bending down to pick it up, I see a little glint. And I know that glint is either a piece of trash or a chunk of abalone shell. And I have plenty of abalone shell chunks and beautiful abalone shells. And so I pick up this winged heart rock. And it's like, that's Evie. I'm going to take that to Evie. So I put it in my pocket. And then I go on over to where this glint was. And so I'm looking at it, and it's like, it's abalone. And I'm going, okay, well, that's cool. And so I pick it up, and I take a look at it. And I see the inside of an abalone shell. And it's like, yeah, okay, fine. And I almost toss it away. Because it's like, we've all seen that. But I decide to flip it over. It's a red abalone shell. That is in the shape of a heart.
Wow.
And I'm like, thank you, Dre. So, little message. I
took it
know.
to Evie.
Well, I keep the abalone shell. I give Evie her.
Oh.
And so
Double whammy.
Yeah. Yeah.
The double whammy day.
Yeah.
So I believe
In the cosmos, the universe, God, and I know how well taken care of I am.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
from my own experience, okay, because you've been hurt more than, or more than most with the loss. So do people get, and when I think, and personally from my own standpoint, from my loss, it's like my walls getting higher. So do people, when you come across, like me and TC tonight, or whoever you're talking to out there, do people get the Frosty with the walls up?
I have no
Or
walls.
do the people get the real Frosty? What do we,
No, I have no walls.
we get the real Frosty, we get everything.
If you're a jerk, why am I going to invest any time in you?
Okay. I just wanted, do you hide behind, because of that loss and because of the hurt, you can just deflect everything that comes your way like I do, or do people get the real thing?
No, you get the real deal
Okay.
all the time.
Yeah.
There was a woman.
I went to move the Jag today.
The British Racing Green Jag with a tan leather interior.
And the rust.
Peeling clear coat.
Yeah.
The thread on the seats
But the
is
clock works.
starting to go away.
The clock works.
Clock does work.
I just can't wait to see how it's gonna look in 10 years. I swear, it's gonna be amazing.
Would you quit? You guys are just trashing that car. I love that car.
I love that car.
It takes balls to drive that car.
No, it's an amazing. I just love
And
it.
a AAA membership.
I literally drive down your street every day, and I just love when I see that thing.
See, I love putting on the straw hat
Yeah.
and rolling down the street. Laura Anderson says she practically pees her pants every time she sees me.
That's awesome. No, I agree with you, Frosty. I think your
Genuine.
cover is what the book's about, and I think that's a great. I think more people need that trait. And if Frosty's, if people are watching, if you don't have a good encounter with Frosty, maybe look within, because I feel like you're very genuine.
I always try and be very fair. And I definitely have some off days, but as long as my health and life isn't threatened, I'm pretty easy to get along with.
Can we segue into our question?
Yeah,
now?
we should. I was just thinking about that. Okay, so we normally can I explain?
Sure. Explain.
So we normally ask our seasoned guests what was their favorite decade, but what happened is that we had a show that Harry Mayo,
Awesome guy.
Doug Thorne, and
Bob Rittenhouse.
Bob Rittenhouse
Oh my God.
came
Yeah.
on the show in the morning. We did a special recording of them, right? And then TC and I have always asked the Doug Houts, the Rich Novaks, the Steve Coletta, all the old guys with gray hair like ours, what was your favorite decade? And I decided to change it. And I decided to ask them, what was their favorite day of surfing? What was their favorite day? Now, to me, I don't remember a favorite day. I don't remember a favorite day. But they in each took turns.
Hold it. You don't know your favorite day.
No, I don't
Is it
remember a
because you're a
favorite day.
stand-up paddleboarder? And you don't.
No, I don't remember a favorite day. I don't know.
So let's okay.
But anyway,
Frosty.
do you have a favorite? Do you remember your favorite day of surfing? And where was it? And what happened?
All right, this is what comes to mind.
Yeah,
See, I
that's
love
all
it.
you
You
need.
see,
That's
that's
all you
what
need.
I-
There we go.
Yeah.
I had been surfing Mavericks and was very, very comfortable. Had been working with Jay. He had not surfed Mavericks yet. He had been working ever so hard.
How old was he at the time?
Oh God, I hate that. I don't know.
Okay.
Sneak up the Mavericks like the movie said. Was there? Did that really? Because,
No.
Okay. I just want to make sure. I don't remember that either. Okay. Gotcha.
And so I had broken ribs.
But they were almost healed. And for me, broken ribs take 6 weeks
Oh,
to
yeah.
the day.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I was like 4 or 5 days away from 6 weeks, so I was so tender. But there was swell. And it was the right swell for Jay. It was April. And I called him up, and it's like, we're going. And to see anyone,
It's like kids when they understand Christmas.
and you say you can open the presents, the joy that comes across, the they're in a whole nother realm. That magic, that joy, that excitement, the enthusiasm.
Yeah.
And so I hadn't paddled in nearly 6 weeks. And, he took off, and he knew exactly and precisely what to do. He rode up with me. We talked about what you're supposed to do. It's like, I won't be paddling as fast as you. You know where to go. This is the day. Nothing is threatening. This is go get comfortable. Beaming. This kid was beaming.
He beamed all the time.
And yeah, but I mean, it was
This was
like
a big day for Jan.
big day. He had worked so hard for so long, well over a year, like a year and a half.
And at a time when I was like 12 or 15 guys out, maybe like on a big day, crowded day.
Oh, that would be a crowded day.
Yeah, crowded day. I mean,
Yeah.
now we're 60 or 70, right? But like back then.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
no, no. I surfed so many days alone. It's like, God, it'd be cool to have somebody here.
Yeah.
Not to do anything, but just to go and share your successes with.
Tell stories
You
too.
telling to me that your most memorable day was actually the day that you and Jay went and surfed Mavericks.
Absolutely.
I don't remember surfing that day. I watched.
You beamed from the shoulder.
I went in the channel and just like, kid, go. You know everything what to do. You get to show what you learn.
And he had so much joy. And he was chatty. He was like talking to everybody. But that's what
That's
he
what he
did.
did, yeah. No, absolutely.
And so, here's this kid, and he is just like beaming and chatty and going, dude, that was so good.
Yeah.
Because that's what he did.
Yeah.
He was so stoked is the word falls short. There's
Right.
not a word to convey.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just like, yeah. And I'm just cracking up because it's too uncomfortable to try and paddle to catch a Mavs wave.
When you're broken ribs.
And
Yeah.
and it's like, but my joy is being able to see the success
Of
that
course.
he is having. And so I'm totally fulfilled.
Mm-hmm.
And we're out for a Mav session, always lasts hours.
Do you remember anybody else who was out that day?
I think Evan Slater was out that day.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a minimal day. It was April-ish. Not, it's not going to be that good, but it was the perfect day for him to have an introduction. It wouldn't be overly crowded. It wouldn't have real consequences.
Right.
There's everybody got all excited a couple of weeks ago about, there's a Mav swell, and I'm going, yeah, 7 feet at 17 seconds is not a Mav swell. That kind of puts you on the inside, and there's a lot of danger on the inside because that's where Fu got it.
Right. Oh yeah.
And so,
It's like I'm very apprehensive, and it's like if you're going to go surf Mavs,
on this size swell, you really need to pay attention because that reef is undercut. That's why Fu didn't survive. It's undercut. And if
Undercut meaning what?
if you go up underneath it,
Okay.
you're stuck.
and
Yeah.
so you have to know which way the current is running.
Because it's black underneath. You can't see your hand 6 inches in front of your face.
Were you surfing on the day food passed? Were you
No.
out there?
Another rib injury.
Mm.
And
I almost drowned at Scott Creek that day. With
Frogel?
no, it was I went up with who was there that day? Was it? I think you were surfing that day.
No.
At Scott's?
no,
Huh. I thought maybe you were out there. I was with Vince Broglio.
yeah,
Whose birthday today?
It's Vince's birthday today.
Happy
Yeah,
birthday,
Vince and I
Vince.
were there that day, but the swell was moving so fast that day. That's
Yeah.
what I was going to get to. The speed through the water was so fast the day Mark Fu died at Mavericks, and it was closing out at Scott Creek that day. It had a lot of west in it. It was
Yeah.
big west.
yeah,
It was a weird direction.
yeah.
And I caught one. I caught a giant. Like, first off, it's easy to paddle out. It's hard to get in.
Oh yeah.
It's like
Well, you have to be careful about you do get in and not get down.
Yeah, well, it was sketchy. So
Because down gets real interesting.
I had a couple hair raising days in surfing, and it was that day was one of them.
Yeah.
And with Vince, and we were the only guys out there. It was crazy, but do you ever like have moments, J moments? Like,
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, like just like J-isms in your life.
Absolutely.
Is there one that you can like think of that's like a classic J-ism that happens regularly to you?
No, I don't have any that repeat. It's just, it's that smile.
That truly is what it is. Seeing those eyes, that smile, that enthusiasm.
Did he pester you? Was there a pestering to like for him to help you?
No, he wasn't pestering. He listened, and I knew that because when I first started working with him, he was like 12 and a half or something, and so it's like, I have mere seconds. I can't tell him anything in Frosty style. I have to give him like, uber condensed.
I think it's more TC. I think he was looking for a mentor. And when you're a kid that age,
Well,
you're looking for help. You're looking for a mentor.
Well, he was a stoked kid with an afro, for sure. I mean, I remember.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was living on 36th Avenue when he was.
Yeah.
And he was just the stoked kid with an afro.
Absolutely. But I was coaching Kevin Misk, Wingnut, Matt Tanner,
and
Brian Buell.
Mikey DiGregorio.
Yep.
What a great crew. Honestly,
and-
I mean, all those names,
and
what a great crew.
So Jay came up to me.
And he knocked on my van, and I rolled down the window because I was grading papers. I was teaching at San Jose State at the time, along with a regular construction job. And he goes, "Are you Frosty?" And it's like, "Yep." He goes, "You coach my coach. I want you to coach me."
Is that what he said?
Yeah.
You coach
Just like that. And I'm like, whoa, kid, slow down.
That's awesome.
And so, that's how we did it. And he goes, just like in the movie, and my name's Jay Moriarty.
That's classic.
And it's like, okay,
I gotta go back and watch that movie, TC. I haven't seen that movie in a while.
Oh, I watched it like just a couple weeks ago. You know what's funny is I don't know if I ever told you this. I didn't want to see the movie because I felt like I kind of lived it a little bit, and so I was a little nervous. I watched them make it rain over Pleasure Pizza in the summer. When it wasn't wintertime.
Right.
Like I watched that happen. I watched them ride the bikes the wrong direction. I watched all of it like here on the corner. But I watched it, and it's a great movie. It really
It's
does.
essence of.
Exactly, the essence of it. And I know there's parts like, I don't think Jay snuck up the Mavericks with you. And I asked you that because I don't know the answer. You just said that. But I felt like they really got the message.
Well, so back to the 5 or 6 people that I had turned down. Then I got a phone call from Jim Meehan one night, and I was in a grumpy mood. And he said, da-da-da-da-da-da. And I was like, I've already heard this story. I'm not really interested, but I'll tell you what. Jay had some friends.
Jed Knoll, Shiloh, Mikey DiGregorio. I'll give you the contact information.
You talk to them, you whiz-bang them, I'll hear about it. If it's positive, I'll talk to you. Otherwise, I don't have the time for you. Goodbye. Click. So, like I said, I was grumpy. It wasn't a good day.
Not a good day in the world.
Like you
of
to Shiloh was
The
Grant
book cover that day was Old Grump.
So it took nearly 6 months.
And he called back, and I happened to recognize his voice, but I was in a good mood. And I go, oh, this is going to get so good so quick, because if you lie to me, oh, I'm going to rip you a new one. But if you tell me the truth, because I know you have not talked to anybody, so I'm real curious as to what's going to happen.
Okay.
So I said, I gave you an assignment. He goes, I only want to talk to you. So I appreciate what you did, but I need to talk to you. And if the story is true and has enough substance in it. And it's like, the story's true. It's even better.
And so he goes, okay, well, I'd like to talk to you about coming down to Southern California.
And it's like I'm doing, oh, let me see what the surf is gonna be. So I'm on the computer and I'm looking up what the surf is gonna be. He tells me what weekend. And it was actually Masters weekend, because I wanted to watch the Masters on,
Oh, yeah.
you know? And I'm going, let's see, this, oh,
But
he
there's a
only wants
swell. There's a,
There's a swell.
a swell of the monsters. You ain't going anywhere.
they want to put me up at Malibu.
Right.
And, you know, they've already told me it's going to be on the beach, and I'm like going, damn, Soof, what are you doing? She goes, I can't go.
Oh, man.
And so they go, yeah, 2 hours. So I drive down, I meet them. They come to the room that they've got, and I open up the door. When they knock, I turn around and I look out through the glass doors, and I see dolphins jumping. And so they come on in, and we start talking. And the 2 hours that they wanted, we spoke 14 hours over 2 days, and they were just pumped. They were like, this is cool. So they got it.
I felt they did.
And so there was a lot of battles. The most,
I think, dramatic thing and important is, I told you guys earlier, I got a note from a kid
Right.
that talked about how he watched the movie every night. I have been told about how families have changed after having seen the movie, and the relationship between the father and the son has changed.
how it's impacted. And so that is huge. Jay had such an impact worldwide. I was in Biarritz, France, walking.
Which is a huge town. It's like being in San Francisco. And I'm just wandering around walking, and I had people come up to me. In fact, this summer I was in Boise, Idaho, and I had a young girl who was like 16 or 17 come up and go, excuse me, are you Frosty from Chasing Mavericks? It's like Boise, Idaho.
Well, you know, it's a movie that it's still relevant.
Well, it is.
It really is. It's still on cable. It's still relevant, and the story is it's just what you said.
Yeah.
It can strengthen relationships. It can show people how maybe mentors act towards youngsters.
It wasn't
and
a surf- it wasn't-
the changes that you can make in people's lives.
It wasn't a surf movie.
No.
No.
It's about the mentoring thing's huge. Me as a business owner owning a skateboard shop, the biggest gift I can have towards the young people is mentoring them.
Right.
And I feel like I've done that, and it's huge. And you did that with Jay. And if Jay was here today, I miss the kid, right? We all do.
Oh.
You know what I mean? And like the future talent of Jay, who knows, Fire or something he was going to be involved in, he would probably be running Central Fire right now. That's the way I look at Jay.
Yeah.
Honestly, today he would probably be a captain down there at Central running this show.
Well, so this is not common knowledge.
And I told Jay,
You've tapped me completely. I have nothing left that I know of.
to be able to give to you, your next step is to go to Hawaii.
You've got the credentials. And go hang out with that crew. You'll know who that crew is.
Yeah. They'll beat you up first.
And you'll be accepted in.
For sure. Of course
And
they would.
you know, it's like you've got the credentials, and there's very few people who are accepted in that crew.
Well, there's certain sports figures in every sport which stand out.
Absolutely.
You know, like Pele,
Yeah.
Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods. There's certain ones that stand out in different sports, and Jay was one that stood out with surfing.
Oh, I have seen stuff that he did that never made film. Normal surfing, but where he was beyond was in tow-in. And it was just like, I never even knew lines like that could be drawn.
Right.
And it's, and that is where you say you mentor. So when you mentor, what you do is you open doors and get kids, people to believe they're
Yes.
capable.
Yes.
You matter.
Yeah.
And when you can do that, then you've done something.
Can I ask TC a question?
Yeah.
Who was your, apart from your father,
Mm-hmm.
who was a big influence in your life, who was the mentor in your?
I have two immediately that I can say.
Yeah.
One is John Mill from
Yeah.
Line Design, and the other is Richard Novak from
Right.
Santa Cruz
Yeah.
Skateboards, for sure. And in a way, I'm blessed because I've had two gigantic figures besides my father, who
Yeah.
ran the Golden Gate Bridge for 30 years.
Right.
I've been so fortunate to have like really strong male figures in
Right.
my life
Right.
that could pick me up when I trip. And as I look back, that's really what it is. You got to trip on your own, and then somebody picks you up and dusts you off and said, "You fucked up." And then they let you go, and you remember, like,
Well,
I'm not going to
encourage you.
do that again. You know,
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that again. And so, and it's interesting with Jay because he was into so many cool things. I remember he got me into wanting to swim in the kelp beds. Jay would have these 5-foot long fins, and I'm like, where the fuck is he going? Remember? He was like the only guy that would like go out and would swim in the kelp bed. Nobody did that. And while everyone else is surfing 2-foot crappy surf, he wanted to go out and explore the kelp.
Well, one of my initial talks with him is if you want to do, because first off, he just wanted to be a better surfer, so that was easy. It's like,
Yeah, just surf.
Then it's like, oh, I want to be a contest surfer. And it's like, okay, that's not an issue. Then he showed up one day and he's like, I want to do what you do. I want to surf Mavs. And it's like, well, if that's what you want to do, you need to become a waterman. And the best watermen I know of in the world are in Hawaii. So it's published as to what they do.
Yeah.
You can figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
And so your whole life, if you're going to do this and you're going to do it right, your whole life is now learning how to become a waterman. Be in touch.
He took it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, 100%. And then also too, he got into dirt bikes. And we
Which
went,
was
and we went
so
dirt, we
cool.
went dirt biking a bunch, and he was good. He ran a dirt bike the same way he surfed.
Yeah.
You know, like wide open.
Yeah.
You know.
No, we used to mountain bike together.
Yeah, he was an animal.
Yeah.
And I give Jay credit for this too, and maybe you can jump in after I say this, but he was the first kid that was an amazing shortboarder,
Mm-hmm.
but embraced
Longboarding.
longboarding.
Right.
Well,
And did not get grief. And when he did get grief from the boys, the guys who looked not at the ocean, but stink-eyed the cars,
Right.
he just smiled and paddled out and did his thing.
Yeah.
well, again, it's like I can remember, early.
I lived in North Lake Tahoe for a while.
7 or 8 years, and but every winter I would make a journey to Hawaii, and it was like, oh, this is such a pain in the butt trying to learn how to be competent on multiple boards, because you guys have been around long enough.
Growing up, I could only afford one board. It's like I had a summer board that I had to sell before summer was over with, and have ordered a winter board that you had to wait 6 to 8 weeks to get. And it's like if you sold early, you were like, "This ain't surfing, but dude."
I had a 5'10" twin fin. That was it.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't matter what direction the swell
Yeah.
was or how big it
Yeah.
was.
That's what I got. One board. One wetsuit.
Yeah, that's it.
So I figured now I've hit the big time. I have more than one board. And I have multiple wetsuits. It's like I got a short sleeve wetsuit. I got a 3-2.
Life is
I
good.
so good.
And you got a convertible Jag.
British Racing Green
I'm
with tan
rolling.
leather.
I'm rolling. I'm looking for someone to
Oh,
fit in that
man.
passenger
I want to
seat.
give a shout out to my, and you would be respectful of this man, mentor. I'm just saying on the.
Good.
My mentor was
I'm ready.
my mentor was Mr. Olin Dutra. Mr. Olin Dutra taught at Pajaro Golf Course. He won the U.S. Open 1936, PGA Champion 1938, and was in the Ryder Cup team. And he said, son, I will teach you how to play golf. I will not charge you a penny, but you're not allowed on the golf course until I teach you the game. And he taught me the game. I mean, I thought I was hot shit. That was nothing compared to what he drummed me. He was 76 years old. He had hands the size of that computer. And I remember, never forget, for his 76th birthday, I took him to Pebble Beach. It cost me $100. And for me, it was $100. And we started playing. And every Hispanic greenskeeper, bunker raker, knew exactly who he was, and walk up to him and shake his hand.
Really?
And
Wow.
they knew who he was.
Yeah.
He was the Hispanic U.S. Open champion from 1936. And to this day, he's been a mentor of mine.
Wow. And aren't you a champion
That
of
was
the...
a long time ago.
Come on,
Yeah, that was,
dude.
that was a long time
So
ago.
he taught you well.
He taught me well, but he taught me how to be a gentleman more than anything. He taught me how
Hold
to be
everything.
a human.
Yeah.
No, he did. He taught me respect, and he
Well-
never charged me a penny. And we go to the far end of the the driving range at Pajaro. You know the
Yeah.
driving range. We go to the far end, and we hit balls back. He just had this little corner,
Yep.
and he would make me sleep at night with a golf club in my hand. Just because Neil, the only part of the golf club you touch is with your hands. If your grip isn't perfect, don't bother. And I would go to sleep at night with my hands like this, and I wake up in the morning and I'd have to literally take my hands off the shaft of this
Hey,
golf.
by the way,
this golf club.
you're giving your secrets away to all those guys you steal money from every day out there.
But I want to go. So we've all had our mentor. That I
Yeah.
want to thank Mr. Olin Duke.
But your mentor has made you money.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you owe.
But I want to thank Frosty for coming on the show tonight.
Frosty, thank you.
We
so
want to get
Seriously.
the show done because we want to take him to dinner.
We're going to dinner. Let's talk about the sponsors.
Sponsor the show
Yeah.
tonight. Frosty, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Frosty.
Get a good
My
time.
joy.
Seriously.
I
That was
want to thank Merch for Socks who gave.
Can we just
Yep.
can we blow these up real
Blow those
quick?
up.
You borrow my
Let's
socks.
blow these up. These are insane. These are
Showing
Jay
right?
at Mavs. Bob Barber took this photo, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, Bob Barber took
17
these.
shot sequence.
It's the cover, the magazine, everything we talked about. We missed Jay, and come on, this is the most iconic.
Shot.
It might be the most iconic shot in
Shot.
Santa Cruz history,
In any
even though
history.
it's Mavericks. Iconic. Okay,
Chill Out Cafe, where are they?
roll the
Chill Out Cafe
fatties.
across the street. Want to thank Beach Nest Vacation Rentals from.
You know the fact that they donated those
They
homes
donate- they
to the
told-
firefighters and the families that needed shelter.
Yeah.
Insane.
And still living there.
Yes.
People's Coffee. Want to thank Curtis and People's Coffee. Pizza One in Aptos.
You been down there lately?
I have had pizza the other day.
Oh boy, how was it?
Very, very, very good.
Yeah.
I want to thank Jamie Jansen from Santa Cruz Core. Yeah.
Have
There's
you
a
been
gal
working on
down
your
there.
core?
There's a gal down there, Abby, who gives a massage to you. See, I'm going to give you one.
Okay, hold everything.
I'm gonna
Is
give
a
you one.
massage working on your core?
No.
Okay.
I just go there for the massage. I'm going to give you one. You're going to go. and
I'd
you're
love
gonna
to go.
thank me- You're going to thank me for it, too.
I've been busting my ass lately working out, so I'm ready to go.
What's that right there?
Six pack, bro.
Want to thank Numa from Aloha Island Grill.
Oh, is Feather Snake still rocking out?
It's not doing so well.
Can we get them on the show?
By the way, yeah, we should.
Okay,
No.
no?
We can't get them.
The band's broken
no,
up?
Thank God COVID's here. We can't get them. on the
Okay,
fucking
okay.
show.
But
I saw my friend Sean Roby today.
beautiful segue. Where the fuck is Sean Roby? He's hiding out.
Yeah.
Hey, Roby, bring that
So my friend,
shark
my
bracelet.
friend has a shark bracelet that repels bull sharks, and he wears. I surf with the man recently all the time. I saw him today. It's like something like he's on parole. He puts it around his wrist.
bull sharks.
Bull sharks are in Hawaii and Florida.
Did you hear that, Sean?
That's why we want Sean to come on the show. We gotta get him on the show.
Thanks, Steph. Thanks, Steph from XP Realtor for you. I was up in the boardroom. The homes are selling like crazy right now. If you're thinking of moving, now it's time to sell. Call Steph to list your home today. Call her at 831-345.
Steph has a nice new sign up there
8755.
at her office. Yeah, they put a brand new sign on Lower 41st Avenue.
So call Steph. The listening stack. It's time. I need to go back. You know what?
It's
Went to my doctor the other day. She stuck the thing in me. She goes, Neil.
It's time again? Oh, that sucks. It's right now is Surfer's ear season. So go up and see Justin. Get those plugs. Keep your ears warm.
Or you're gonna go see
Or
Dr.
you get your double surgery.
Yeah. The kayak connection. We're down there today. The Santa Cruz Harbor at Mustang. Beautiful weather. Great time to spend a sunny afternoon.
I just want to say my
That's
boat.
fun, by the way. Way
it's-
fun.
Oh, way fun. My boat, my slip is where everybody in the Santa Cruz Harbor rents their kayaks. Every one of them has a smile.
Yeah.
I just want to say that.
Good.
It's great.
I want to thank Rogue Pies, TC.
How's your waistband doing right
Not
now?
good, my friend. Not good at all. I want to thank Ed for the homemade savory pies that but he delivers. He drops them off at my house.
Can you
Christ's sake.
I want to go back to the pies. I don't know about the pie.
Can you describe the pie?
Pie
What's
for
in
breakfast?
Describe the pie?
Yeah, describe the
Let me
pie.
give you describe the pie. It's like driving a British Racing Green test.
That's what it is?
What's like
Is that good?
That's
All right. British Racing Green.
That's a road
All right,
pie.
cool.
I want to thank Delicious Holy Smokes Barbecue down the street.
Brand
yeah.
new.
Oh my
Yeah.
God! Have you been in there?
Yeah.
Really good. I want to thank
Frosty
Dennis in there.
approved.
Who was I miss? Oh, I got
Yo,
miss.
Frosty, $5.
I do.
No.
What did I do?
No, the barbecue does.
Who did I miss? Who did I miss? Thank Fig for Surfy Sandwich. Continuing
Fig's
to.
awesome. You know what? And Fig, we love you, bro.
We love you, bro.
Yeah.
I want to thank another person who's stealing my. Her name is Janae Medved. She's been surfing in all my spots, but she's not selling real estate for Compass Real Estate, both here in Santa Cruz as well as in Silicon Valley. She's a sweetheart. Give her a call. 569-4591 or go to compass.com. Agents/Janae Medved.
She's awesome.
Hey, she is. She's awesome. There's a lot of sweet people that surf nowadays. I'm not one of them.
Mr.
who am I missing?
Popular out there, huh?
You know what? Here's what I did. Here's what I did. I decided.
Are you
I think we
confessing
all
right
decided.
now?
I think we all decided that you can't blame people for surfing. Right?
Right.
We cannot blame people
No.
for the thousands of people out there.
Can you
we
blame
all-
people for
Frosty
skiing?
loves it. No.
Right.
I love it. You love it. We all love it. You cannot blame people for wanting to be in the water. So I decided to get myself a 12-foot paddleboard. That's
Mr.
Frosty
Popular
did.
down there,
It's
right?
that freaking wide. It's that long. I'm gonna put lights on it.
Are you bringing your friends out
I'm gonna
too? You should put a bar on it.
Starboard and port. Lights on it.
Yeah, put a bar on that thing.
Little numbers.
Yeah,
Little
little
numbers.
numbers.
Just sit outside and sell beers. You'll make a fortune.
Oh, I had this idea
Oh, God, here
today.
we go.
Let's turn the camera around.
What's the idea, Frosty?
We should get a little platform on the very inside.
Yeah.
And have somebody man a video.
Yeah.
And then we could get the world's dumbest surf performance.
Right. That's a genius idea.
Good
It's like
Yeah.
endless.
Yes.
Frosty, before we go, Pleasure Point is more crowded than ever. At your spot that you walk down the street with your coffee,
He's still
it's crowded. There's baby strollers and like inline bladers and craziness. You're super stoked. Why is Pleasure Point still gold to you?
Because I can't see, I can't hear, and I really don't care. I'm going out for a good time.
Hey, and that's what you want to do. I'm going to full circle to what I said earlier. You're the most stoked human.
Yeah.
Continue
know.
on, my friend. And thank you for being here tonight. Yeah, seriously.
Thanks, Frosty.
Frosty,
I want to thank.
seriously the
want to
best.
thank Frosty.
Thank you so much.
Thursday show. Alex Cicero and the boys gonna be at my house.
All right.
Alex Cicero and the boys, the Fab Five, gonna be at my house on
Hold the Fab Five.
the Fab Five.
When
At my
night is
house
that?
Thursday afternoon. Don't worry, I'll be at class there, bro.
Okay.
And Saturday, the Joint Chiefs gonna be playing at a secret location.
Holy smokes! How do you get the best bands?
Dude, I got
And
band-
you- like,
dude,
you are-
you've seen the music I've got lined up.
Oh, I'm saying it.
The
Yeah.
gal from the
No Madaka. No Madaka.
Doja's coming on.
Yeah.
Soulwise is coming on. Myra Goto's coming on. The gal from down Southern California, Cameron Klein.
She's so
Dude,
good. Watch out.
smoking
Nashville,
good.
right?
Who else are coming on? Oh, I always wanted to come on. Dr. Gail Newell.
Okay.
The
She
head
runs.
the health of the county, Santa Cruz County Health Department, run by Dr. Gail Newell.
Maybe I can ask her why nobody's been in my business saying.
You will ask her. She is
Why?
coming on the Off Limit
All right.
Radio Show. If you missed the show tonight, you can catch it on Amazon Music, Pandora, Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, anywhere.
Just
You can-
type Off the Limit Radio Show. You'll find it.
Frosty, we love you. Thank you so much.
Frosty, you're a legend in Pleasure Point. Seriously, thank you so much.
Well, it only
You
comes
know.
about because so many incredible people are here.
Well, you're a big reason why Pleasure Point rules, and we appreciate you. So,
Thank you so much.
yeah. All right, Neil.
Yeah.
Great show tonight.
Good show, buddy.
Thank you very much, everybody in the Off the
World.
World. We will see you soon. Good night.